My name's Kian. I'm a first year medical student, and today I'm going to be telling you 10 things that I wish I knew before starting medical school. Number 1 is the rule to do it now, not later, because you will not have time to do it later. Essentially, I'm saying don't procrastinate. Second thing I wish I knew is that everyone is going to be ahead of you, as well as everyone is going to be behind you. Do not get into the trap of comparing yourself to others. So what I mean is you will be sitting in lecture, minding your own business, and you'll hear someone's conversation being like, I already studied all of the anatomy labs for this entire year. And then you'll hear someone else being like, I already learned how to do all of the physical exams for this entire year. And then you'll have someone else being like, well, I already pre-read all the lectures for the next 3 weeks. And you're going to be sitting there like, great, everybody's done everything. But in reality, they've only done that one thing that they mentioned, and they haven't done the 99 other things that you need to do, whereas maybe you've done something else that they didn't mention. It's not good to compare yourself to others, and it's really easy to fall into this spiral of being like, oh, I'm so behind everyone. But it is healthy to check in with people and be like, hey, this is like the 5 things we need to have done this week, right? So just create a community around you and don't like ruminate or be like, ooh, like how far ahead is this person in front of me? It's not a good look. And the reality is everyone has their own study schedule and their own routine that works, and they're going to take different paths in order to get to the same finish line as you. Number 3, you will never know everything. Yeah, so this is a reality of med school and medicine in general. Get used to not knowing everything. I think in undergrad it was pretty easy to be like, okay, there's a discrete list of things that I need to memorize, and if I know all of that, I will know 100% of the things that are going to be on the test. Medical school is not like that. There are things that are just like so out of the blue, in my experience, where you're like, guess I'm just gonna guess here. I can't know everything. Number 4, ask your faculty questions. You can do this on a one-on-one basis. This is my personal preference. Some people like to press the microphone and have the camera zoom in and have their face displayed on the giant screens of the lecture hall as they ask a question. I don't got that kind of confidence, but your faculty have so many pearls of wisdom, and I personally found the best places to ask questions were in smaller group settings. So examples were learning clinical skills. We'd be in a room with like 8 other people and a doctor. Great time to ask questions. Second one was in the labs in histology or anatomy. You have these dedicated profs that have done like MD PhDs in the anatomy that you're learning. They have so much knowledge. And yeah, sometimes they go off in tangents and you're like, I got like lots of things to do. I just wanted this one question answered. But those tangents will help you remember things, and sometimes they're on the exam and you just weren't smart enough to ask about those things that they went off on a tangent about. So just be a sponge, ask questions, and absorb. Number 5, you'll learn more if you come more prepared. Prep was a hard thing for me to get used to because it's a very much self-motivated kind of thing. You can show up doing 0 prep and there's no consequences in medical school. Like in undergrad, you gotta come in with like a lab plan, all the hazards written out, pre-research done, and an assignment done. No, here you can just show up. So for me, that transition was really hard to be like, okay, I need to sit down and like spend an hour or 2 memorizing all of this anatomy. Because when you get to the anatomy lab, you'll be able to ask questions, you'll be able to put things together, and you'll be able to take more advantage of that in the moment learning environment. This is also true for histology labs and clinical skills. So do your prep. Do your prep. Number 6, you will need to experiment with your study methods, but don't reinvent the wheel. So I remember I got into med school and I was like, I'm gonna use all these weird methods that I didn't use before but are popular in medical school. I'm going to Anki it up, I'm gonna memorize everything. It was fine, it worked out, but honestly, like, You just have to experiment what is right for you. And kind of by the end of the year, I was really studying in a similar way as I was in undergrad, but enhancing it with more efficient methods. I don't know, just figure out what works for you and understand that what works for you is going to be totally different for what works for other people. Number 7, social support is key. So I am not a very social person. I do not like to party and drink excessively. I do not like to do drugs, which, you know, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into, and you may be surprised. Med students like to party. That wasn't the scene for me, so don't force yourself into something that isn't right for you. But like social support in forms of doing extracurricular fun things with people who have similar interests is so helpful. One thing I'm really glad I got involved in was choir. Just singing rejuvenates the soul. Music is so healing, and it's a total different part of your brain, and it's something totally separate from medical school that you can focus on for a couple hours and you can chat with people. Super helpful. Number 8, you are still the exact same person as you were before you got into med school. Literally the only thing different about you is you can now say,
I'm in med school.
You're not like this whole new person. You're not like way cooler than all the people that didn't get in. You're not any smarter than the people that didn't get in. You're not better than the people that are still trying to get into med school. And it is not a cute look to be like, yeah, I'm in med school now. I only like do medical things and talk to medical people. Like, no, don't. It's not cool. It's not cute. You come across as really weird and arrogant. Like, you're literally in first year medical school. You're not a big deal. I don't know. Some people in my class were kind of like that. You need to be humble and you need to learn from people, not only in your class but outside of your class, just to continue growing as a person. Don't think that you're like super cool because you got in. Like, you're cool for other reasons. Number 9, say no to the things that you don't want to do. Med school was an excellent filter for me. I will admit there were some things that I did not enjoy doing, but I did because they were stepping stones to give me experience, as well as things to put on my CV that would strengthen my application to medical school. I'm not proud of it, but like, if I'm being honest, I think everyone has a few of those things that they're like, it was a grind, I wasn't into it, but it looked good on my CV. We've all been there. Med school is kind of liberating from that because you got in, you don't have to do these things anymore. But it also was a good filter for new opportunities that came up. There are so many extracurriculars in medical school. There are so many events. There's people asking you to come volunteer for things, do this and that. For example, there was an event here like a month or 2 ago, and it was the day after a big assessment exam thing. It was early morning, volunteering, standing around outside, and I was like, I don't want to do that. So I said no, and I'm so glad that I said no because I had a relaxing morning sleeping in. I wasn't doing something for somebody else that I wasn't genuinely invested in. Honestly, it's kind of a disservice to say you'll help someone with a project and just not be that into it, because then you're not as reliable. You don't produce the quality of work that somebody else would who was more invested. So just say no to things that you don't want to do and say heck yeah and throw yourself in and be passionate for the things that you actually want to do. Number 10, stay healthy, sleep like 8 hours a night, exercise as per the recommendations, and eat healthy. It will make a world of difference when your mind is clear and you're able to focus. There's just so much more efficiency when you've got a healthy lifestyle that's acting as the foundation. Anyways, those are the 10 things that I wish I knew before medical school. I hope you found this video interesting. Please subscribe and share with your friends. And if you just got accepted into medical school, congratulations. Welcome to the med school journey. And yeah, let's kill it. Let's become amazing, compassionate doctors. I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.
Bye.